In all the excitement of getting my garlic planted, I completely forgot the elephant again. These are the bulbs that I've saved. There's one just breaking away automatic there, as you can see. So I'm going to split these up now and pop them in one of the tanks on the allotment. I've already prepared the soil in there, and I'll show you once I get out. Got these two tanks here I've just prepared. I'm going to put the elephant garlic in that side, but this side here I've still got a few more standard garlic. These are Marco, and what I've done, I've just put my metal grid in, just going to bodge a few little holes in, drop these in, and by the time I've planted those as well, I might put a cover over the top just to keep the fox out. So after splitting them, I've got some decent sized cloves here, probably about 15 to 20, and then I'm going to go in here. What I've done, I've put a bit of fertiliser on the top. There's some onion fertiliser and also some blood fish and bone, and I've just tittled that lightly into the surface. I don't go too deep, because once the bulbs are planted and the rain comes, hopefully it's going to wash all the nutrients down to where the roots are. And in the meantime, I've also got these mono bulbs, which I planted these late last year. It must have been about March. And these are only cloves, but they've actually formed a bulb, but never splitting. So I'm going to replant these again, and hopefully we should get a decent crop out of these as well. Okay, so we've got the elephant garlic in, 15 in total. And just like the standard garlic there, I've put a cover on the top. They give them a bit of protection, keep the soil a bit warmer so they can concentrate on producing a bit of root. And the monobulbs, I've put those in there, and I've done put a bit of enviromesh on, and that's mainly to try and deter the fox from having to dig around. Managed to get most of the garlic in before we treated to another rain shower, but not to worry. Come back inside and still carry on with doing something productive. Starting to have a look at sowing some onions. Just looking in my diary here where I keep, and this time last year I'd started the seed onions off in the 14th of October. So I'm around about 4 weeks behind, but not to worry. As usual, I'll be growing me regular 8-ounce type, the Vento and Tough Ball. Regarding the big onions, the Kelseys, which I normally grow, this year I'm not going to grow from seed. I've decided that. I've had a look, and DT Browns have got some seedlings for sale. They'll send out later in the year, and you can buy them in a pack of 20. And I'm going to be using them. That'll be enough for Argo. I've still got a load in store. I grew far too many last year. And anyway, as I say, I'm going to be growing the Tough Ball and the Vento, the small onions. They do keep quite a lot. And for the banana type, the shallots, I'm growing me long red Florence. There's the Alista. And I've still got a few Zabroon, and what I'm going to do with them, I'm going to do a multi-sow in the little 40-cell trays. I've seen Dan do this quite a lot, and he gets some really good, and so I'm going to use the rest of the Zabroon seed up, because I've got to be honest, Zabroon now, the last couple of years, they've done me no favours. They ain't come up as good, but that Alista as a replacement has done very well. Regarding the compost, this is my worm compost, and although it might look pretty good on the camera, I've had a right game with drying this out. That's been on the some couple of trays in the greenhouse in there for probably 5 to 6 weeks now, just to let the moisture come out, and it's took a long while to do it. I've added more vermiculite in here than I usually do, but that's just to soak the stuff up, but not to worry. I've then run this through my rotary sieve and through the little hand sieve, it's a very fine mesh, and believe it or not, that took over an hour to get it to like that. But anyway, what I'm going to do, usual, I'm going to be sowing in these plug plant trainers, and the first tray of each of the Vento and Tough Ball. I've added some little depressions in there with the Sharpie pen. I know there is dimples in the lid, but they don't go deep enough for me. But I'm not sure if this will show up. You can see the compost is still quite wet on there. I haven't watered that at all. So I'm just going to sow one seed in each station, then give it a cover up with a bit of vermiculite to soak a bit more up. giving that a little spray on top to moisten the vermiculite, but really it doesn't need it. Popping the lid on now, and I'm just going to get the next tray done of tough ball. I want to try and get the majority of my onions sown within the next day or two, and then get them into this little Vitapod propagator. Right, I'll set that at 15 to 18 degrees, just let it tick over. Obviously if we have some really cold nights I might pop the diesel later on and all, but in general something this size doesn't cost a lot to eat. I think that's 50 watts. And once the onions then are showing, I just remove the heat, and that's what I did last year and had a great success with the onions over winter during the cold spells as well. That's the zabroon done in a 40 cell tray. I've put 3 seeds in each one. The problem is now the Vitapod's a bit on the full side, so I might have to bring the big one down. I've still got a cover to put over the top of that in the meantime. So I think that's all my onions sown for this year, from seed anyway. And then I got the Vento. Those there are tough ball. Along here, a long red Florence. And across here are the Alista. Now you noticed I've put these 4 pots in here. What I'm going to do is make use of the heated space while I can. And this is where the multi-sown zabroon are going to go. So I'm going to pop that tray on the top of there, and that'll just be a little standoff. Because really they don't need no light. I just want to make use of the heat at the moment. So that's the tray in place. And I've just popped another single pot down there. Those are some Mammoth Red. I realised I hadn't sown no red onions. There's only about a dozen in there. So I'm going to pop the lid on there now. Might put a bit of bubble wrap over the top to try and keep a bit of heat in. That's set at 18 degrees and they're on their own. Another job that now the winter's drawing in, cold nights and whatever, is to lift this celery. To be fair, I've had a fantastic crop and I've hardly lifted any. The usual case, I want celery summer at least, and I think I'm going to have to think about sowing this in January or something. Nevertheless, it won't go to waste. A lot of this will end up in soups and stuff like that. So I'm going to get going before the frost does it. That's the last few bunches. As you can see, that's a decent crop it is. Some nice, there's some not so good obviously, but I thought my wife's going to have the right time chopping this up ready for the soups and whatever. Don't tell her.